Hello, Duggo. You ready for more tile fixing?
Well, you won't believe how big that old clay tile is.
It's gonna be exciting.
Huge.
So what was the issue? Big suck hole?
Big suck hole on an intake. Or I don't know what's going on.
We'll
out
explain
there.
more maybe when we get there.
It's a mystery so far.
So we're getting loaded up to go down there, taking the Bobcat. We haul manure to the field so it smells beautiful. And the manure guys kind of blew out landlord's driveway, so we're gonna haul a load of gravel down there and fix that area where it kind of got banged up a little bit. So we want about a 1/2 or 3/4 load of gravel. One more bucket should do. I'm guessing Dad drove this last. He always likes to sit with his head in the ceiling, and then he always complains about how everyone sits on the ground. There's air ride seats for a reason, he says. Well, I feel more comfortable lower. He just can't understand that though. Oh, come on, let's go. Mister. Alright, I dumped my couple of loads or spots of gravel off. I'm gonna quick go level that off and then go help these guys. They're gonna start on the other side of this tree line. There's an issue. So as you can see here, my gravel spreading skills are slim to none. Granted, we never really do spread gravel with that. So I started with a nice spread that led to a nice pile at the end. So we're gonna use the loader to kind of level that off. Way too high of an ear shot here. We gotta get, there we go, a little better. Just like that, I look like a professional spread. Leveling. I think I may have dumped too much in this area. I'm gonna have to spread it out. But basically what happened is they use tankers, like semi-tankers, like we used to use actually to haul the manure to the ground tank. Lots of loads. Driveway that's not used to lots of loads, let's just say that. Kind of banged her up pretty good. Just in this spot though. Now this I really outdid myself on. Really proud of that, actually. Look at that. I dumped a little pile here and relocated it, leveled it off with the tar. Very clean, very clean. Unfortunately, that took much less time than I thought it was going to, so now I get to go help in the tile tread. But I'm sure they need it and will appreciate it, so better get out there.
Well, I'm out doing some more tillage. This here's my Larson farm. I had soybeans out here this year. They did real well, and those hog barns is a finishing barn, and I was able to get the manure out of them this year on about 200 acres. And so it has been decent weather finally, and we are working it in. You'll kind of see what looks like a skip. Totally that was planned. To stay on rate, I wanted about 4,500 gallons an acre of manure. He had to spray out to the side of his injectors as well, so that's why we are incorporating it, so I don't lose any in or whatnot. This 5200 carries a lot of dirt. Very nice for heavier tillage. I've got it shallowed up since I'm in soybean stubble, and it's pulling very easily, but you gotta lift in the ditches, otherwise you'll fill in your ditches. So this is gonna work out great for next year. At that 4,500 gallons or so manure an acre, I'm hoping to get about 200 units of N, and then obviously the P&Ks, so I'll be able to get a corn crop out of this next year, and then a soybean crop the following year. Brody's leaving. Brody, we're not done yet. Look at him just putter down the tar road. We had the one ripper come out here. Yes, that is extremely aggressive for soybean stubble, but the way this was done is it was kind of in a big 5-wheel Tarrigator, and they were filling into hog yard there and then just driving out to the field. And so the headlands were very, very compacted, or just a strip on the headlands. So we decided to rip that, just try to get some of the compaction out of the ground. So that's what he was doing, in and out. And then there's a very wet spot in that corner that needs a lot of tile. And he tried to go through it with that, because I'm not going to try it with this. And he said it was too wet. That'll be the spring's problem. But thank you, Brody. You know what I'm really excited about, though? Dinner. I don't know if this looks appetizing to you guys, and I don't really know why the bag is building pressure. But these are White Castle sliders. And for those that don't know what a White Castle slider is, pause this video and go buy one. Or actually buy 40 of them, because they're delicious. Not healthy at all, but delicious. And I've got the Hot Logic. I'm going to try to warm them up in. I've also got chicken, because you never know how, even though I only have to do 60 acres, you never know how long you're going to be out here. So I brought my whole meal plan with. These are just, they're just staring at me. We'll get into them eventually.
Time to switch from the machinery, the new machinery, to the old machinery. And a nice little walk through the hog manure smelling field. Some people say that's the smell of money. I don't agree. Looks fun.
That's good, Chris. All right.
Oh, we'll have plenty of pipe.
Yeah, I picked up another chunk at the farm. Should go back down maybe?
It's Jordan's first time tiling.
It's exciting.
How was the experience so far?
Not too bad. It's not cold anyways.
It's not cold and it ain't 94 degrees outside with 100% humidity, so
Yeah.
it could always be worse.
Yeah.
Right, Randy?
Yeah, it ain't bad.
So this is 15-inch, what is it? Baconite clay? It's weird looking clay. It's probably what the Romans used back in the Romans days for their sewer lines. Nonetheless, we're replacing this stretch, and then it's got a nice bend that we have to try to make.
Boy, that's gonna be close. Where's your 30 degree?
Up there.
I think that one's the money shot.
You don't want to try the other one?
No, that's the money one.
Oh, do I?
Do we want to get that short piece
Right
and just
there.
lay it on there and eyeball it before we go cutting?
I might need more man.
More manpower coming, Dougal. We got quite the assortment of everything here. You never know what we're gonna get into, right, Dougal?
How's that one-handed going?
Excellent. Try not to unload the whole trailer. You know the exact measurement. You're gonna short it. Long's better than short.
Long is better than short. That's
You can always cut more off, you can't add on.
113. I'm gonna
Right in the center.
short it. You want
Okay.
center or the?
Yep. Give her. Why? No, center. Right in the valley.
Oh, that stupid thing down here.
Give me the tape measure. We can get you a better measurement now.
Maybe instead of measuring the bevel, we should 110.
We
So
get to
it's the
start
next
over.
rib.
The measurement changed.
110 with the bevel.
So the bevel will be slid over 5 inches, and we are measuring the bevel as part of 110. We're one rib off.
You want to finish the rib you were doing?
Gotta fall backwards.
Get that clamp under there. Holder it.
I'm hitting something.
This is nice.
Oh, underneath.
Yeah. Clamp me.
Good loader.
Woo. You having trouble?
I think we'll.
I am having trouble. What is happening?
So for the what was that? The 20 degree?
You want us to just cut them off?
Chris, taking that out of your.
Oh gosh.
That's gonna cost you.
There's another.
Now he gets to try to fight the hole again.
Them ones went right in. Nope. Spoke too soon.
There's an elbow here you can reload.
Now the backfilling process. So we got that all buttoned up. We put plastic, like vapor barrier plastic, around all the joints just because that can create a lot of suction and actually suck dirt in. That's actually why this was an issue. Somebody, we're thinking it was us, even though this is a new rented property to us. We have been out here working on it because this adjoins to our tile line and it was sucking dirt. And something either failed. We're thinking that the farmer that was farming this was burning corn stalks or something and burnt this up, like way down to the main line. And just due to the fact of it's melted, and then it stuck dirt, and now we get to fix it again. So hopefully that don't happen anymore. And then I hope I'm never in this hole again. But if we have to, we will come back. But this should be a final fix. And just like that, it's time to load up and off to the next job. Well, they're en route for the next job, which is mostly just excavator. I got a few rocks that I seen, so we're gonna go get some rocks. And I don't have the rock bucket, so I got a lot of dirt. Brody! At least he's smiling. It got really windy all of a sudden this afternoon and kind of cooled off about the time he decided to power wash off his corn head. Okay, so I am going to go test this scraper out. So the last time Dad was out with this was a very discouraging day for him because whatever reason, this thing, now it makes sense, but this thing totally reset back to factory settings. So it wasn't communicating to this box. Long story short, he couldn't even scrape that day because we do all of our ditches on grade and with laser or the satellite, so everything flows properly instead of just going out there and making big divots and holes. So long story short, me and Chris just spent about an hour on the phone and finally got it reconfigured. So they're now talking to each other again. So now I'm gonna go test it out. If I don't drive over the diesel fuel hose, got a back around it. Didn't get rolled up properly. There's Chris, got him loading up the dump truck to widen out some more approaches on some fields that definitely need it. Always have, and we've got time this year and enough guys to help us, which is really quite awesome. These Iowa boys are still up here. I'll just say it is hard to keep everyone busy because they're everywhere and then they complete a job and then they're looking for a new job and it's like, well, I was going to do that job, now what do I do? It's a good problem to have, but yet it's different. But what my hope is having them here to help more will allow us to be able to do more this fall, such as ditch cleaning, approach widening, fixing on stuff, washing stuff, cleaning stuff before winter time, and will alleviate a lot of load in the future.
We've got something that is quite stupid. No, it's not me about to weld next to this flammable barrel. It is the hitch off of the front of the 870 Ripper. And very, very shot, very worn out. The class 4 hitch pin being used in a class 5 hitch. It's not working. So I'm going to try to fill that in with some welding and of course John Deere parallel arms to help improve the case. I'm sure some of you are saying do not weld on that. The heat treatment will cause it to crack very easily or something, and that's probably true. But instead of buying a new one, this is what I'm going to do. So send your hate to the comments because I won't be reading them. Let's get this thing brand new. So my goal, instead of welding this whole trough back with just filler, we're going to put this metal in there piece by piece until I've got roughly the correct shape again. I don't think it's going to look gorgeous, but this Ripper is covered in hog poop. It don't look gorgeous to begin with. And yes, the levelers are held up by a chain right now. Not the levelers, the opener discs, because we're working on a seal kit for that hydraulic cylinder. But that's more troubles with the 870 that are always there and you guys don't need to see right now. Always wear proper gloves when welding. This one's got a little hole in it so I can feel what I'm doing. Looking for a stand to set you guys on. There always is one around here in the way, and then when I need it, it's nowhere to be seen. Let me get myself put together here. Hope that sun ain't too bright. My theory is, I don't remember the term, the wire that's in the welder is going to be a lot softer than the metal I'm using to fill. I have no data to back that up, it's just my opinion. So that's why I'm putting metal in there instead of just filling it with weld. And the metal's scrap, and then I don't use up so much of our welder wire. Okay, it's called the electrode. And I've always thought that the weld is stronger than the metal around it, so now this whole theory is backwards from my belief, but whatever. It's too late now. Okay, we're done. And I definitely welded it a little smaller hole than it was before, but we always run a class 4 hitch pin in there, so that'll be just fine. And why did I take the time to sand that smooth and that side smooth? Well, removing material there really ain't gonna affect where it was wearing, and when you work with Doug, he likes things looking clean when you're done. No, actually, if you guys have ever hooked up to an implement, this right here is not your friend. Backing up to it, and you gotta crank that jack one more turn because the hitch hits the drawbar on the tractor and you ain't quite high enough. I didn't want any extra metal in there, so I hate flies.
All right, everything seems to be working just fine. Did one ditch here that's actually not even on our side, which is fine. We get along good with them, and we've worked on this ditch before in the past. Anyways, basically what's happening here, and this is the benefit of being able to work with your neighbors, and some neighbors don't want to work with you, some do. In this case, they're very easygoing, great to work with. The water actually sits on their side, and what happens is we want this ditched onto us, because if it ponds on their side, not only is that terrible for them, but it's the weep factor. It weeps out of their side across the line, keeping this area really wet. So ponding water is a bad thing on the other side of the fence line in this case, which in any case, that's a bad thing. So if you can work together, Dad's actually on another farm that we met with the guy, and said, hey, can we open up this fence line and get the water off? It'll be a benefit for both parties. In that case, we're the guys with the water on our side of the fence wanting to drain it through their side. And we all just agreed, or they agreed, that it'd be best to keep the water moving instead of ponding, because it hurts them and it also hurts us. So that's just a tip for all neighbors. If you're a landlord, if you're a landowner, work together with the neighbor, because it benefits both parties either way. It's great when everyone can get along, and now we both win, and they got a free ditch. So that whole subject is, you know, a touchy one. If you're a farmer, obviously, you know, the saying is, whiskey's for drinking, water's for fighting over. And if that isn't a real statement, drainage can be one of the biggest arguments between neighbors and farmers. It can be. It's best just to work along with everybody, but sometimes that just ain't the case. And I know it ain't just us that deals with it. Everyone has had that struggle at some point. And unfortunately, water runs downhill, and we've experienced that with our farm from both sides, being the guy at the top of the hill wanting to drain down and they don't want the water, or we've also experienced it when we're on the downhill side where the guy upstream wants to tile or drain. And yeah, it can be tricky, but generally speaking, you can always come to some sort of agreement that works for everyone. Let that be a message to anyone that is listening, and try to get along. It's tough enough out here farming without arguing, and that is never a truer statement. That's kind of with any job, actually. All right, guys, I'm back to the farm. I think that's gonna be a wrap on today's video. Look at how much stuff Brody got off. You maybe can't see, but that was a lot of yucky grime on that corn head. Anyways, hope you learned something, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.